everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you very much for your continued support. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. It's very nice to get nice comments, questions, and also donations. And you guys are booking lessons with me as well. And lately, when I talked to some of you via Skype as a special event, that I got some ideas of how I could improve and so on. I really am very grateful for your feedbacks. So feel free to give me feedbacks and so that I can improve my channel so that it serves you better. Now, this will be an answer to a subscriber. This violinist was wondering, how could one memorize the entire piece? It's difficult, but we all know if we can memorize, we're free. Our eyes are free from the music, therefore we can actually pay more attention for left and bow contact points and left hand, and then we actually play better. So it is a good idea, if you can, to play pieces by memory. There are two ways of doing it. One, old-fashioned way, which a lot of young violinists do, by putting lots of time, playing many times, and just you play so many times, it's just ingrained in your head. And that is what a lot of young violinists do, and also students who study violin as a major, because they are full-time violin students, so they can do that. But we all are also, there are also many violinists who just don't have that kind of time, or even for professional violinists. Like sometimes I only have about 4 to 6 weeks to prepare complete new repertoire. And for me, in order to memorize, I have to have a practice at least more than 2 months. Like a 4 to 6 weeks is just not enough to have memorized completely. So then I have to figure out somehow to memorize without putting that much of time, because just that kind of time was not available. So the second one is having a little more plan to memorize certain pieces. Okay, that's what I'm going to share with you. First, understand the structure of your music. Meaning, just like a story has beginning, developing the story, at the end there's some kind of conclusion. Music is the same way. There's certain beginning, and there's story developing in the middle, and at the end there's conclusion. Of course, there's different variations of it, and there's sometimes a little changes here and there. But a big picture, we call it sonata form. There are many different kind of composition form, many music structures, but there's a beginning, development, and the ending. That's somewhat good place to start. And see if you can see that kind of picture. Instead of memorizing every single bar or every single line, you have big chunk here, middle chunk, and the last chunk. So it's a little easier to do. Or sometimes if you're playing, let's say, rondo. Rondo is another composition form. So there's short melody, let's say short theme, and then repeat over and over. But between repetition, there's a different melody going in between. So let's say your theme is A, there's totally different melody, let's call it B, and then theme A again, and some totally different C again, so you would be A, B, A, C, and so on. So that you can map your music a bit. And similar, some other form, there are many different kind of forms. The other forms of composition or music structure would be like canon or fugue. That means there's certain melody, theme, repeats over and over. Sometimes it overlaps, sometimes one after the other. So you understand what kind of melody, let's call it theme, repeats and in what form or what structure. Yeah? Based on that, sometimes theme can be only one theme, can be sometimes theme 1, theme 2, theme 3, and so on. So that you can somehow have a mental map of your musical structure. I find it very, very helpful to memorize in a short term or in a very limited time. Once you're done, once you have this mental map of the music structure, then now you listen to the recording. I do that a lot and it works beautifully. with your score, with your music. But make sure you you listen to your music not just with your part, but with your complete music. Meaning, if it's the music is written for piano and violin, and then you have to get the music for piano and violin both together, so that while you listen to the recording of the piece you're about to memorize, you know what all parts of music going on. So you follow the music, reading all parts of it, not only your part, but piano part or orchestra part. So you study that one while listening. And then whenever you do that, and you don't even have to be at home or practicing while practicing. Sometimes, while having breakfast, switch on your recording and then have your score or music right next to you while drinking coffee or having your breakfast, so that you can use your time wisely, or you can do many things in very limited time. And once you've done enough times, and then you kind of know how the music goes on because you've heard a lot while following the score, the complete music, then you listen to again without music. Here, very, very important, you have to know not just your part, but the other part. A lot of violinists make mistake of skipping pause or skipping what orchestra or piano parts are playing. But that parts are as important as your melody parts, because if you don't include in your memorizing the orchestra part, the piano part, once you start playing with the orchestra or piano, you will feel awkward and you don't know where you are in. So always try to listen or imagine the music entire part, including your part as well as the accompaniment part. Yeah, and of course in between you practice, right? We practice as much as you can. But I find it playing, it's all about your ideas. It's all about here. So then now when you start playing, now we have to coordinate with what we have in our mental map with the playing, right? So when you practice, same thing goes on. You practice whatever tempo you're in. If you're somewhat new, you practice a bit slower. But again, in those pause, try to sing it out loud. Don't be shy. I'm not a good singer either, but you have to sing it out loud so you're used to play the entire music. That will be tremendously helpful, trust me. And then if you can, while you play your part, see if you can remember what accompaniment of orchestra or piano sounded like. That way, once you play with them, you're not surprised or shocked and feel under pressure, right? So by the time when you play with them, with the accompaniment, whether it's orchestra or piano, you practice mentally enough, and then once you do that in practice, it's no longer be a shock or stress, but rather a more familiar setting. So this kind of organized, structured memorizing, I find it very helpful with myself, and also I try with my advanced students as well. This could be applied for very short piece all the way to very long concertos. Any piece goes on. But always first working on having a mental map, and then practice mentally, and then applying that one while remembering your pause. Yeah, that should be a recipe for you to be able to memorize the entire piece in a short time. I hope this video gave you some ideas. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you again. Bye.